So I watched Supercon. Now, it's getting savaged by critics. I largely agree. I don't think it was very good. You have something that looks and sounds a whole lot like Comic-Con, and you have a couple friends. Russell Peters he starred in it. He was a child star, had a very humiliating role, and he hasn't really been able to get work since. So he goes to these conventions because he has to. He can't get money from anything else. And it's a pretty humiliating experience all around. He's kind of the sad sag. He's getting divorced. So there's him. There's his much better looking, cooler friend. It was actually a new show called The Oath. And he's a star of that. And I thought he was quite good in that, quite good in this. I didn't like either of these things, so I wish he got better stuff. But I thought he was good. And then Maggie Grace, kind of the cool girl of the group. She's puffing on a vape the whole time. Now, she doesn't have much to do, but I thought she actually gave a really good performance. I thought she was great. So they're a trio of the cool kids at Comic-Con, I'd say. And then there's the Clancy Brown. It's been in hundreds of movies. He's a big actor. He plays the typical slightly washed up, slightly arrogant star of the convention. Doesn't treat his fans quite right. And then Mike Epps. He's Black Doug in Hangover. That's where most people probably always know him from. He's the kind of the yes man, the lackey to him. Quite funny. So everyone did a pretty good job. And then the simple premise, they want to steal from this jerk guy who doesn't treat his fans right to make some kind of point. And it failed I feel like it failed as a nice tribute to fandom and to these conventions. It didn't really either capture the spirit of it or do a good job paying homage to it. And it also failed as a heist movie. You didn't really have those cool heist elements. You had some, but in the most superficial way, rather than having a really cool scheme. There's a pretty obvious twist at the end, and you had people crawling through ventilation ducts. Not particularly creative, not particularly memorable. Why it didn't work as like a nice tribute to these conventions, I feel like they tried to have it both ways. They tried to make fun of the people that go to these conventions and didn't paint them in a particularly good light, but then they also tried to attack the jerk celebrities and other people who they say take advantage of these people and don't treat them right. And I don't think you can do both. They could have made it a really good attack on those people who do take advantage maybe of the people that go to these, or make it just be open about your mockery and making fun of the people that go, or just at least a stereotype image of the people that go. But they made a lot of cheap jokes about these people, and then also would go on these speeches talking about, it's wrong to take advantage of them, it's wrong to make fun of them like you do, and it just felt like a little two-faced. And I feel like it did this a few times, kind of undercut its message. It's another where the emotional moment of the film where Russell Peters, he talks about how it's so hard for him in Hollywood to find jobs that aren't stereotypical, just a terrorist, cab driver. And it's a fairly nice, honest moment, but just 20 minutes or 30 minutes earlier, his character made a litany of every racist stereotype against Asian Americans. I guess East Asian Americans, he's a different Asian American, technically Southeast Asian American, but it just kind of undercut its message where he goes on this heartfelt speech about how tough it is for him because of stereotypes, when just earlier he made a whole slew of them, and it didn't seem like they were doing that intentionally to show some kind of hypocrisy. No, it just seemed like they didn't realize the silliness of putting both those things and not realizing that they contradicted each other. And there were some really funny moments. The jerk actor, who's the star of the convention, he keeps talking about how he turned down Die Hard, and he keeps poking fun at Bruce Willis as kind of second best to him. And it's just a very funny recurring joke. Towards the end, one of the characters is having a meltdown, and he's like, Joss Whedon, saying to the crowd, I told him to drop the H. Everything he has in his career, he owes to me. One of the people in the crowd's like, yeah, that was a pretty good suggestion. So a few funny moments here. There's some of the raunchy sexual humor I thought was pretty funny. Make jokes about small dicks and anal sex, just kind of very raunchy humor. But there's some potty humor. There's a sequence towards the end of the movie, just the most puerile potty humor, just actual poo humor that I guess if you're into that sort of thing you'll like, but for me it was just a very long, unpleasant, gross out humor sequence. So I don't know, this could be a cult movie that a few people just really love and respond to, but I think the critics are right. I think this one missed the mark for sure. And I will say John Malkovich came in midway through the movie and had a very heartfelt little role, and that was a bright spot. I did want to mention that.